$38.
38.
I'm a dinosaur, what they call me.
Oh, you far from a dinosaur.
Half a dinosaur.
What's a whole dinosaur?
60.
Yeah.
I mean, dinosaur library, however people want to,
Library.
But a lot of people tend to, think dinosaurs are significant,
Mm-hmm.
There's some significance to dinosaurs, so being one is a good thing, especially growing up in Baltimore.
Why you say that?
We're a poor city. Poverty is a direct symptom of crime. Crime is a direct symptom of poverty, I should say. So, that in itself creates issues with anybody, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like being poor or being surrounded by the alleged poor people, there's always tend to be, a little bit of violence, higher crime rates during holidays, things of that nature,
Were you poor coming up?
I mean, I think we all are to some extent, I think my parents grew up in that era where things were hard for anybody black. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the things that we got now, they didn't have. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even sure if financial aid existed in the 60s. So, going to college and things of that nature, it wasn't accessible. So if it wasn't like a scholarship or something like that, it was very seldom we were going. So that's why a lot of our men went to the Army.
Mm-hmm. Did anybody in your family go to the Army?
My grandfather.
Really?
Yeah, I think my grandfather was a World War II veteran.
Really?
I never met him, don't know too much about him. I know he passed long before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just get little bits and pieces of him. I knew he was a fly guy and he took care of home.
Mm-hmm.
He was a way older man, compared to my grandmother. I think it was like a 14-year age gap. Or he may have met my grandmother when she was 14 or something like that. Or my grandmother stole him from his current wife at that time.
Mm-hmm. Do you know your grandmother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was my grandmother. That's my baby, Nanny.
Nanny?
Yeah,
hey, my grandmother's name was Nanny.
Yeah, she's solid. Like, I watched this woman. Matter of fact, I've never seen this woman shed a tear before. Ever in my life. I done watched her prepare funerals for her children. I done watched her battle addiction with her children. I've never seen this woman shed a tear in my life. But she lost the battle. Well, she didn't lose the battle. She's losing the battle to prescription pills, So.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of pills?
I think she took a variety. I don't really know exactly which ones, but now that I'm older and I understand it, I know she's been doing this for about 40-something years. Because I know she was taking them when I was young, and I'm 38, and I know that was happening before I was born, so,
Yeah, tell me about your upbringing.
Well, I pretty much was everywhere, like from the 1-5 to the 3-1 to Cherry Hill. Well, I was born in Cherry Hill, moved to Spring Hill and Cottage, which is Park Heights.
Mm-hmm.
Had some history up there, and finished it off in Perkins Project from there. But it was kind of like one parent household. I was the only kid for 16 years. My little sister Kay.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, she was the typical struggling black mom, single black mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it like earlier on, when I was younger, I would say like she did her best, what I'm saying? But then it came a point in time where her focus became, on something else, such as men. She wasn't like an addict or nothing like that, but that was the dividend that broke me from home to in the streets. Because, you know, my grandmother raised me pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was young, all the grandkids lived with grandma. Not all 11. I think it was 9 of us or something like that living with grandma. And all our mothers kind of got themselves together in line and moved us out one by one. We ended up at Park Heights again. Started going to school up there.
What school did you go to?
I went to Green Spring. Went to Green Spring. You know, just typical upbringing, you know. Poor. You know, mother worked a typical job. You know, she didn't really make no money. I had big feet. She couldn't get me the things I wanted, you know. Got her my damn self, but you know.
Where'd your mother work?
So when I was young, she used to work at a place called Phil Sims.
What's that?
That was right there on Penn North, like right before you get to the light on Penn North, coming from Ricerstown Road. But then when I got older as a teenager, she was working at Levendale. She was a dietary aide. She didn't have any high school equivalents either. So she pretty much did what she could, you know.
Yeah, so tell me about your father.
I don't really know too much about him. Like, I know his name. I just know his name. And I think his birthday is in July. But anything other than that, I can't really tell you. You know, we actually, you know, seen each other off and on. You know what I'm saying? And people, you know how people tell you, like, you only get one father, you only get one mother, this, that, and the third. So give him a chance at a chance at a chance. But then, you know, I just didn't see fit for him in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was there in the physical, but it was nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get nothing from him. I don't know him for being in healthy relationships or ever owning a home or having a home or apartment or anything like that, let alone having a job. So I didn't feel where having a relationship with him was conducive to anything I was trying to do with my life.
So how did that affect you moving forward in relationships?
I mean, more so, I would say younger, I had a direct effect from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, not knowing your dad or not having that male figure to kind of navigate you through life. You know, but in our culture, we tend to, you know, not listen to our dads and shit. But, you know, I just didn't have that person to navigate me through life. So, and at the time when I was young, I didn't really think about it because it was not like I was seeing my homeboys with their fathers. So it was no resemblance of a dad anywhere. Not my cousins, nobody. You know what I'm saying? There was really no male stepping up, you know, in my reality. So I wasn't like, I wonder where's my dad. But then he would send little letters from jail because he was locked up. And, you know, my mother used to force me to write him back, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know what to say even back then. So, like, now to be older and have a mind of my own and have a conversation with him, it's like, I don't know what to say. I can't pretend to, like, have some feelings or emotions towards you that's just not there because you're my dad. But, you know, it is what it is. At this point, I'm 38, you know. If you ain't gonna do it for me, do it for the grandkids. You know, be the best goddamn grandfather you can be. Right. And I didn't see that was something he was going to do. So, again, the relationship just wasn't conducive.
So knowing what you know now, do you wish you would have had a father figure? You wish he was there?
I swear, like, I wish I had both my parents. And, like, I have my mother. But I don't have my mother. You know, she's here, she's alive. But, you know, we don't have the best relationship. But I definitely wish I had my dad. Like, even though I don't even know what that was. I mean, I know what it looks like now because I'm a father. But at that point in time, I did not know what having my dad looked like. So
what's your relationship like with your mom now?
Me and my mother. So, it took me like 27 years to understand how toxic our situation was. And I don't mean toxic as in like I was bad for her, she was bad for me. Just the continuance of what got me to where I am, or having the emotions that I have. It's like a continuing thing. It's just on autopilot with it. So, to be older and address these issues, and I get met with denial or a lot of things like that, it just triggers emotions. So we kind of have verbal spars. That's what I call it.
Verbal spars.
Yeah, verbal spars.
Explain that.
F you this, F me that, I hate you this, you hate me that, just a verbally abusing, each other, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to say each other because she's not here. Well, I've been pretty much verbally abusing her, but, I don't want that. I don't want it to be like that, but I think it's driven from the things that she took me through, because it's like I'm getting older, and it's like I'm not going to ever have you, like we need to get it together, motherfucker. So that's how I'm meeting her, you know what I'm saying. And I try to meet everybody where they are, but her.
So what are some of the things she took you through?
I mean, her primary thing was pretty much neglect, you know what I'm saying, and they kind of harvest separation issues and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of stuck with women longer than I should, because like I always tell people, like, the difference between a mother and a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, you just having sex with one, especially a young man's first girlfriend. A single mother raising a young man, leaving the nest, going to venture off into the world.